Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So I just finished recording the last, or the video for the last few bits of Battling Alita, last or the fifth volume omnibus. Excuse me, my throat's a little bit dry from all the talking and emoting. And I was expecting to do a Kaiju 8 chapter today as well, but apparently the new chapter is not out yet. So in lieu of that, I'm going to do another Battle Angel Alita video, and we're going to do Last Order Volume 16. I'm going to try to go for 45 minutes to an hour or so for the video, so we'll see how much of this we get through. So I mentioned this in the last Alita video I just finished, but yeah, I was kind of surprised because some people mentioned in the previous video that apparently Omnibus 5 was not the last volume, and that there was indeed a couple of more that they didn't do in omnibus format for some reason. But thankfully I was able to get all of them in print except for Volume 16, which is apparently out of print and is only available electronically, which I'm not really a big fan because I wanted a physical copy for my collection, but it is what it is. Yeah, so like I mentioned in that video, I'll mention it here as well. I'm going to try to get through, because I think there's 19 volumes total, I want to say. So I'm going to try to get through all of them during this break week I have right now. So we'll see how well I do with that. That said, let us dive straight into Battle Angel Alita Volume 6, Last Order. Let us dive straight into Battle Angel Alita Last Order Volume 16. With Chapter 95, A Cornered Rat. As we have, the Zod finals are heating up. He took Zeka's ignition blow head on, and the battle seemed to be over. But Professor Sechs is alive! You see Sechs just casually kind of stretching after he absorbed Zeka's blow. Yeah, boss, what on earth happened? It's like a phase transition. And you see, phase transition is the transformation of matter from one phase to stable to another. So from one phase or stable state to another. We're most familiar with the phase transition between the three states of matter: cold, liquid, and gas. He's like, you mean like when water boils into steam? It's like, yeah, any machine cut running past red line will get wrecked. Oh, again, before I forget, I keep forgetting this. You are going to hear like a slight background noise. That is just because I have a fan running to keep me cool. The heat isn't too debilitating today, but it's still really hot, so to ensure I don't melt, I have a fan running. But I tested it out. It shouldn't overpower my voice or drone me out or anything like that. But just in case you're wondering what the background noise is, I have a fan running. So we get, but Zeka determined through experience that a previously unknown stable state existed beyond the tolerance limit of the Physroid body, and going off what he heard from Zeka, this kid reached that state using his energy he borrowed from the punch. The polytene gel running through their bodies right now is in an ionized supersonic state. It's become polytene plasma. It's like, I don't get it, I'm scared. It's like, I don't blame you. This application is beyond even me, and I built them. But seeing the consumer going beyond the creator's imagination, as an engineer, how could I ask for more? Fight hard, my sons. You see Zeka going, when I gave you homework, I was just wondering if you could understand what supersonic at rest meant. Didn't think you'd turn in a working demonstration. You accomplished in a few days what took me 10 years? That's no good. How's that make me look? Zeka's like, well, don't praise me too much. I let compliments go to my head. He just smashes a fist into the wall that Zeka's standing on. And you see just kind of like it just forming a mound as Zex just shoots up out of it, and Zeka just barely dodges his uppercut. Dodges Zex's uppercut. As Zex lands in front of him and lands a kick at him as well. And Zeka does like an X block to block it. And he gets sent flying back, and he goes straight through Rakan and Zazi's fight, interrupting them. As he smashes through some more walls and slams into the side of the arena. And you see, incredible! For a moment I couldn't see what happened. It looks like a direct hit from Zex's expanded kick. Zeka blocked but was smashed into the opposite wall. Zex didn't just come out alive, he powered up. And Zex is like, Feh, I figured I was going to crush him straight through his block. And you see that Zeka's boot is like literally fused to Zex's chest, and Zex just kind of like peels it off. And he goes, but he used an expanded kick too and cancelled mine out. You see that Zeka is indeed missing one boot. As he goes, don't get cocky. It just means we're finally on a level playing field. Now I'll show you the benefits of superior experience. And then we switch to the Alita Toji fight again, where Toji's still in his battle stance, and you have like this little field around him. It's like, meanwhile, Toji attempted to withstand Alita's ferocious attack, and you see Alita just pummeling from every which direction. And he's going, so many attacks at once. There's no room to counterattack. At this rate, I won't last. And he sees himself like imagining being like crushed between two blocks. And then Alita kind of just comes skidding to a stop. And he's like, why'd she stop all of a sudden? It's like, I get it. She's waiting for me to release the Sunshin Carapace and attack, so she can counter. It's like, I won't fall for that. I will never release the Sunshin. Alita's like, I found the weakness in your force field. Toji's like, hey, ridiculous. The Super Carapace Sunshin I learned from Master Taraba is the perfect defense. There is no weakness. Alita's like, it's uneven, and you see her tail just slightly twitching to the right, and you see Toji be like, to the right? As Alita just slams into him from the opposite side, and he's like, ugh. It's like, haha. And Alita's like, and now how uneven it gets is linked to your emotional fluctuations. Toji's like, what? And he thinks back to him, Master Taraba telling him, the essence of the Sunshin Super Carapace is the immovable soul. You must train to be of serene mind in any adverse situation. And you see Alita just laughing maniacally, going, ha ha ha, it's a half-assed trick, perfect for a chicken like you. And Toji's just like, it's true, I learned it overnight. I'd have to train for 50 years to attain Master Taraba's level. And you see a, then he just bounds on top of him, and you have like this glowing circle as she goes, Plasma Crapola. Go ahead and hide behind your force field until you die, chicken. And Toji's like, shoot, this is a plasma deadlock. If I release the Sunshin now, I see plasma deadlock is an electromagnetic karate term. When opponents use electromagnetic defense, push against each other with plasma in between. The one who pulls back gets showered with plasma, so they end up pushing to the point of exhaustion. The worst form of sparring. And you see Alita just casually, like arms crossed, she's just pushing on it with her feet as she goes, die trembling in terror beneath my feet. Plasma Soliton. And you see her just pushing down with these shockwaves on Toji's little electromagnetic defense. He's like, a wave oscillating through plasma? I have to neutralize it with an opposing wave. He's like, no, I'm using all my muscles for the Sunshin. I can't generate a wave. It's like my body is crumbling. As his body's starting to crack apart. He's like, it's like I'm gonna die. And you see kind of like him cracking apart as you have in that moment the pride, honor, reason, and ego Toji had nurtured over the years. All were crushed to bits by terror in the face of imminent death. And all that remained was pure survival instinct. With no past or future, his name forgotten, catalyzed by a tenacious will to live, he became a cornered rat. And in that hundredth of a second, that rat chose instinctively a move only possible for a skilled expert of the highest caliber. You see, as Lee's saying this, she goes, the force field is swirling? And you see Shum, as you see it starting to vibrate, and you have, and you see this giant electrical tornado with the crack just expanding above Toji. Jeff, what's this? A pillar of fire? It's like, no, it's a tornado of plasma. And Alita's like, I didn't expect him to braze the plasma Soliton this way. A fierce magnetic storm. It's supersonic. Jab, the cornered rat became a ferocious beast, and you see Toji still in his fighting stance, just standing on this chunk of rock as Lee has been thrown by this electromagnetic storm. Jab, this was the birth of the technique as Toji just sticks her with a doubles fist and then slams her with an upper. Oh shit! And he just completely blows her body apart, as you have known as Predator Grilling Rat Strike. It would go down in the history of electromagnetic karate. Oh shit! God damn! Oh, oh boy. Oh, all right. Got chapter 95, Faster Than Thought. As we have an inescapable plasma tornado. The internal air pressure instantly dropped to near vacuum levels. The radiant heat over 300 degrees Celsius. In an environment where no flesh and blood human could survive, Alita's body faster than thought, readied for combat. Alita's confidence was unshaken even faced with this unexpected comeback. The plasma tornado became the barrel of a giant railgun, with Toji as the cannonball speeding upwards. Alita saw the opening before Toji was ready to strike and kicked off the plasma. She would seize this chance. She formed the Damascus blade on her left arm. So you see her arm like pointed down like this with the Damascus blade off, like kind of bracing it. And she goes, it was a desperate counter-strike executed in milliseconds. Because of the spinning of their bodies, Toji was torn apart in a spiral like the peeled skin of an apple. It was a feat akin to intercepting a bullet before it left the gun. So you see her imagining just whirling down, using the blade to strike through Toji and the little rock formation he's on up below. So, but then, something strange happened to Alita's body, and you see it starting to like cube out a little bit. It's like not just her body, the space surrounding her changed. Then Alita's mind leapt into the past, watching what had just occurred from outside her body. It's like, I was late taking the blade out. I can't evade in time either. And she sees the twin punch and the kick that Toji used that blew her apart. The clash took place in the blink of an eye. And what happened went down in the history books was not Alita's counter, but Toji's predator-killing rat strike. And you see all this debris just raining down as Rakan and Zazie are just running away. He's going, not again! You're all too reckless! It's like the plasma tornado destroyed a part of the Lotus. What's happened to Toji and Alita? Oh, we've spotted Toji! You see Toji just coming down in a battle stance. He goes, he seems quite damaged, but all right. But where's Alita? Like, oh no, the camera have spotted a part of Alita's body. She's scattered everywhere. That means, is Alita dead? You have no way, Alita! As the Tao is just like screaming and crying. And you see Sechs and Zazie just looking at her in surprise. As somebody just raises the glass and goes, ha ha ha, well done, Toji. And the Chancellor's like, I never heard Mr. Embody laugh out loud. And you see him going, is this the karmic tornado Arthur predicted? Was he quibbling because he feared Alita would lose? And then you see, I really wish I had a physical copy to kind of just like show what's happening on this. But you see Alita falling down like what looks like a black vortex, like all these white streaks around her. She goes, what happened to me? Where am I? And you see her imagining what I think is like the Jupiter little defense system as well as like Damascus. So you confirm fragmentation of limited space-time. Phenomena convergence rate restabilized. Buhanov effect was successfully manifested. And Olivia's like, what? Who are these guys? And she sees the Jovians. And you see, finally, a success on the 42nd try. It seems that to counteract phenomena, convergence pressure, and achieve a different result, we need to estimate a critical point of divergence. Quickly, verify the target. You see, estimated target destruction is 68%. Energy input into the orbital dynamo confirmed. About 40% of the kinetic energy of the target's thoracic region was absorbed by the wormhole. It's like 68% destruction. That may be problematic. The Black Cat reconstructed herself from a small clump before. She might regenerate like a planaria again. Planaria is a flatworm frequently used in science experiments. 1 to 2 centimeters in length. They live under roots in clear water and are famous for their considerable ability to regenerate. And you see, keep observing and recalculating. We will continue with Operation Glass Cat. And you see Alita getting mad going, so it's their fault. Something weird happened to me. And you see a whoa! As one of them explodes, one of the Jovians explodes. She goes, what's the Koshka's quantum models moving? Alita's like, are you the ones who interfered with my battle? And you see her just forming all these spikes and things out of the hologram, like shooting this laser beam as she's destroying the Jovians. You have blades where the beam hits. This is a nanomachine attack, the same one that invaded the orbital dynamo. Koshka's consciousness is transferred here via the wormhole. It's like, Mr. Potemkin, I know it's sudden, but I hereby appoint you chief of the Zot task force. He's like, huh? It's like, my transfer to Europa just went through. Every organization needs someone to be responsible. So you take it from here. And you see him just getting drawn with the clamp. He's like, wait! As a sword just bisect him and destroy him. Alita's like, you won't get away! And she slams the little crane lifting him up as she slams him back down. She's like, Koska, what terrible power. You are the first to damage our Jupiter Union this severely single-handed. Why was such a monster created? And you have Alita going, I have no business with Jupiter. Stop meddling with me. And he goes, well, we have business with you. The wormhole inside your body is a military secret, as is our territory, which you invaded. Since I was a little boy, I've had a line for a moment like this. And that is, if we must die, we'll die together. And so he goes and operates some kind of device. You see all these nanomachine blades coming out, kind of cutting the Hovian ship in half. And you see Alita's consciousness like zoom back in like cyberspace somewhere. It's like, damn, how do I get back? The match will end. And you hear, you fool, curse your own inferior cognition. Jeff, who are you? It's like, I am the Jovian Quantum Convergence Observatory, Jupiton. And you see this giant orb looking thing that looks like the Death Star. And we have Chapter 96, Space Angel. So you have the whole universe has been transfixed by the Zot finals. The independence of Tifaris and the scrapyard is at stake. It's the Space Angels versus the Space Karate forces. And the balance of power between these most powerful teams has finally collapsed. See, Toji's giant plasma tornado has smashed Alita's body to pieces. And you see on the Space Angels team platform, you have Deckman going, woo, if Master dies, what will happen to us and Master Wu's brain? And you have Hopper going, why do I keep thinking his name was Cricket? It must have been because it was Hopper and I somehow just associated that with being Cricket. It's like, but I'll never forget that attack. Alita totally had Toji around her little finger, while he defended with the Sanchin Super Carapace. She then attacked with the Plasma Cupola, which he countered with the Plasma Tornado. Truly superior advanced skills befitting the pinnacle of the space age. Excuse me. Toji showed us the potential of the prestigious electromagnetic karate, and he still hasn't dropped his guard. Is he still experiencing that life and death battle with Alita in his mind? Or does it mean something's about to happen? You have Zeka going, he's outgrown his old self, that Toji. He looks to the side where Zax is just coming in, just radiating energy, slams into the ground, and Zeka just barely deflects and jumps out of the way. And you go, and Zax's like, don't you look away, or you'll find yourself dead. And Zeka goes, aren't you energetic, even though your girl just died? It's like, my girl? It's like, that runt. She's your girlfriend, right? And Zex just gets so mad. He's like, never in a million years. And Zek was like, no? It's like, you obviously got along. I was like, sorry, that was Zeka, not Zek. It's like, you obviously got along. And Zex is like, are you blind? He's like, hey, I'm not worried. It's like, she's not immortal, but she's got a hell of a mean streak. She gets your hopes up, but then takes the spotlight for herself. You can bet Alita will be back, meaner than ever. Oh, God, I did not want to go back to the pervert fight. And you see back the pervert fight with Rakan doing some kind of click as Zazi's firing some more bullets. And you see him trying to catch them in his teeth as she's firing them. And as she's jumping jumping away from him, she drops a grenade and sets it to explode. And you see a hee as they both take refuge behind the opposite sides of a wall. He goes, you don't lose your focus even when your teammate dies, but maybe you're almost out of ammo. And you see Zazi just uploading another mag. She goes, Alita saved my life. Whether we win or lose doesn't matter. All I need to do is execute my mission. And you see in the Katheri's central tower, you have Mr. Embody, emergency! And you see the VIP seats. It goes, we detected an abnormal increase in mass and distortion in space-time inside the arena. And he goes, you mean Alita's wormhole reactor is still functioning? Show me the surveillance video of Jupiter. You have Ladder Assistant Chairman Aga Embody. You have, here's the EPR image from the spy satellite. We've observed an explosion of the abnormal spinous structure near the equator. Since then, the structure has been slowly contracting. The Jovian Union has refused to explain this as usual. Any connection to the wormhole reactor is unknown, but we surmise that there's been some sort of problem. Jeff, what the hell are they doing? Whatever it is, I have a bad feeling about this. And you see the Poirot told you still in his battle stance. The rubble just kind of collapses down with this huge electrical discharge. Do you have an electrical discharge from the wreckage? But it's, oh no! He's like, now what? Like, should I use the sword of Damocles now? So there will be and he thinks back to Arthur telling him, there will be a catastrophe if you use the sword of Damocles tomorrow. Excuse me. And he goes, it sounded absurd when I heard Arthur's prediction yesterday, but the wormhole reactor's effects are unknown. I can't calculate what would happen if I use the sword of Damocles. But he also said the possibilities diverge. It should be possible to avoid a catastrophe. I have to analyze the situation. It won't be too late to take action then. You see, as the rubble still kind of just getting crushed down, Sechs goes, see, what did I say? Here she comes. And you see, it's like an electric furnace. No, nuclear fusion, the birth of a star. We're observing elemental transformation and restructuring. It's like, it can't be. Is she regenerating? See, the structure side morphed and warped itself into this tower. At the top, you see starting this cross exploding and unfolding. That's Alita gets reborn out of it with these Damascus blade looking angel wings out of her back. Oh. Yeah, just like a phoenix, Alita has resurrected once again. She is truly a space angel and embodies a monster. And you see Space Angel's Alita. And she goes, I exist right here. I won't let my battle be erased from existence. That's my answer. And then we get chapter 97, The Prisoner Who Dreamed of Escape. And we see the Scrapyard Zod broadcast arena as Chaos like, Alita! Vector's just happily puffing away on a cigar. And Koyomi's like, hang in there, Alita! And you see into Fairy Cities in the City in the Sky. You have Pam and Nola being like, Alita! It's so pretty! And Marge is like, Professor, what happened there? First a tail, now wings? They are visually beautiful, but I'm worried that she's turning into something else entirely. And Flan Dusty goes, Gwahaha! Flan is hope! The Imaginal's body I designed changes structure and form in reaction to her consciousness. The specifics are unclear since I haven't dissected her. Piecing together what information I have, Alita's current body should be called Imaginos 2.1. They call him Nova X, but I'm just going to call him Fly Nova because I think it's more fun. The amount of energy information she can process is on a different order of magnitude. Her tail is a manifestation of instinctive sensitivity and vitality, and her wings are an expression of her strong desire to go beyond her limits. That's how I interpret them. And Marge goes, You're saying that's her psyche taking concrete form? And he goes, we are all prisoners in our own flesh, and I am a prisoner who dreamed of escape. I've clung to my obsession with liberating the mind. The model Alita provides might become a star of hope for us prisoners. Excuse me. She maintains self-control without being swallowed by the darkness in her subconscious, and she's coming close to her true nature with increasing subtlety. At least, that's what I presume. Marge goes, it's so esoteric. I don't understand science or the way of the warrior, but is she happy this way? You see Alita with her eyes closed, and you see Colonel Payne manifesting behind her again as he goes, so this is your decision. After all my warnings, how does it feel to live such an unnatural existence? And Alita goes, I overcame my doubts. It feels refreshing. He goes, don't try to act tough. You no longer have anywhere to go home to. Everyone you've loved is gone. Those who approach you now only fear you and try to destroy you, or greedily try to profit from your power. There is nobody worth trusting. You are as alone as a tombstone. Alita goes, that's fine. I'm used to being alone. He goes, oh? Then why are you crying? Alita goes, this is coolant. I know what I'm doing. I'll have no regrets. I'll go back to the Zazie Rakan fight. Oh, I hate this freak so much. And you see her firing off another bullet, which which just basically sings through his nose. And you see it flying through the battlefield. And you see as Sechs punches into Zeka's fist, as Zeka blocks the bullet with his fist, you see the bullet got caught in it and got completely flattened. And you see both Sechs and Zeka just exchanging a flurry of blows. You have bolstered by Alita's return, the other Space Angels go on the attack. You have it's a barrage of Zex's expanded punch. What we're seeing far surpasses Gavin's phalanx. He's really putting pressure on Zeka. And you see, Delosi, see assistant engineers Delosi and Yanni's the senior guy. You go, wow, look at Zex. At this rate, he can win, right, boss? Yanni's like, done. No. The kid's Fitzroy body did undergo a phase transition. His current power and speed probably surpass those of Zeka's old body. In terms of specs, anyway. But this is nothing like the terror of the Zeka I know. He's perfected ancient karate with over 100 years of combat experience. Everyone recognizes him as the finest martial artist, but he remains mischievous at heart. He's hard to deal with. And Yanni's like, kid, why won't you exploit the weakness in Zeka's Fitzroy body I told you about? Just try to counter if you can. And as Zeka's just casually blocking Zex's blows, he goes, I see. It's nice to be young. He just lashes out with a kick that Zex just barely dodges. You see like a fizz where the markings left behind. And as Zex lashes out with another punch, Zeka just does like a little diversion, try to like chop down and break his arm. And instead, Zex just goes flying into the air with a whoa! He's like, damn it! Whoops, wrong way. He goes, there. Now it's easier to move. And you see that he's taken off or ripped off his other shoe pants. Because I was wondering how the newest Fitzroy body phase transitioned. So I went along while I was taking off my shoes. But I've had enough. Zex is like, enough? Enough? He's like, well, kid, come. I'll show you my karate. And you see Zex going, what's he mean, though? And he lashes out with a punch. And Zex just blocks it. Then does a twin punch at the same time as a counter. And strikes Zex straight in the chest and kind of knocks his jaw sideways. And he sends him flying back. Because you have a double punch counter? And you have a Hopper going, Miotoad, looks like Zeka's getting serious. And you see Miotoad, which is husband-wife hand. God, I cannot believe I recognize this I don't know how many of you have read, was History Strongest Dipole Kenichi, the whole like martial artist manga. I remember this from the Karate Guy in the same series doing the same thing. But yeah, it's a technique or stance in ancient karate that uses both hands at once. And you see as Zex is sent flying, he's trying to like use his arms to stop himself. And he fires off another punch as he's still flying. And Zeka just kind of casually steps to the side, blocks it down, and launches himself backwards as well to where Zex is. And as he did, he does an elbow blow to his body and strikes him with another uppercut to the jaw again. And you see most guys get smashed to bits with that. You're tough. So you inflate your body to absorb the shock energy. But how much can you take? As Zex is just become like a giant balloon. As you have, I'll tell you the weakness in Zeka's body. The many maintenance bolts on the surface. And Zex is like, I just have to punch him? It's like, no, they're made to harden under strong impact. With just enough pressure to peel a hard-boiled egg. And it goes, enter up, upright, up, down, upright, down, 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 up, left, left, up, down, down, down. And he's like, you're in combat? Yeah, right. Yanni's like, I'm not done yet. Zeka's mysterious move, Dragon Slaying Bone Crusher, have elucidated its mechanism. He goes, he changed his internal circulation route and placed a circular route in the abdomen, basically a small particle accelerator. He collides elementary particles, building up antimatter over a long period of time. Dragon Slaying Bone Crusher probably loads this antimatter into his fists. It's like, I don't get it. It's like, it's not an exaggeration to say it's always overkill. The annihilation will blow up not only his opponent, but carries along with him. Aim for this particle accelerator, the solar plexus core. It's deviated from the original designs, forcing a delicate balance. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. And you see antimatter, composed of antiparticles with the opposite quantum spin to that of normal matter. When matter and antimatter come in contact with each other, they annihilate each other and explode, with all mass turning into energy. And you see Zeka's like leaping up to line to blow. He goes, the solar plexus core. Antimatter, matter, antimatter, whatever. Give me a second here. Now's my only chance. And you see Zeka just lading in another bunch of blows. As you see the Zek's balloon kind of swirling. Come on. Ugh, not that way. Oh, and you see, as he comes back to his normal form, you see he's kind of like spun his fist as he lands out with another expansion punch. He goes, implosion strike using my attack energy? He's like, I'll return all the punches you give me. Keep the change. As we get to chapter 98, Set Free, and we see Mars Pro Kingdom Parliament Camp. Yeah, fuck, who cares about Alita? Show Captain Zazie! And you see Liu Bin just smashing away at his phone. Do you have a huh? As he crunches it with too much floor. It's like, you klutz! It's like, are you 5 years old? And you see back with the Zazie fight. Hold on. Almost seemed like I missed a page. You see Zazie again firing a bullet with, again, goes through Rakan's nose. He's like, bolstered by Alita's return, the other Space Angels go on the attack. And you have Rakan going, don't get cocky just because you sealed my rings. Besides, they were heavy. And you see a hup. And he kind of like falls out of the rings and takes all of them off in these weird ass like dancing yoga poses. Oh my god. This is the most ridiculous character. And you see Zazie firing off more bullets. And he does like a little butt thrust to just deflect them. Oh, not even. I fucking stopped it with the fart. Oh god. It's like he stopped it with a fart? He's like, no. He killed the kinetic energy with a sonic boom. It's like he made a sonic boom with just a slight movement of his torso. It's insane. It's like, asshole. He's a pervert giving an exhibition. He goes, armor-piercing karate, air parry. I was getting super dry, so I'm going to try to avoid doing the shouts from now on. And Zazie goes, a party trick. You can't stop a rifle bullet with the shockwave. He goes, true, but so another bullet goes flying. He uses his point, like, uses fingernails basically, stop it in midair, and he does like a bunch of piercing strikes with that to stop all the bullets. You have not possible. He flicked them all away with his fingers? Yeah, he's strong enough without relying on gimmicks like the rings. And Gigi goes, actually, he's stronger now without the weight of the rings. Excuse me. Jeff, run away, ring! As he screech as he's using his rings to like use them as a roller so he can run really fast. And with a flick of his wrist, he also sends some of them flying towards Zazie, who dodges out of the way as she fires at him, and he responds with a pervert attack. Oh my god. And you see, woohoo! As he's just like bouncing rapidly between the walls. Yeah, he's making vapor cones. So, Canal, you're a velocity combat specialist. What do you think? See, vapor cones are clouds that form around around planes when they fly at low altitude at the speed of sound. And she's just like, oh, I hate to be lumped in with this pervert. Now's not the time to be dejected. It was at bullet speeds. The problems are drag, increase in inertia, and decrease of move, the frictional coefficient. You usually can't move as you imagined. There will be bullets you can't dodge even if you see their trajectories. Captain Zazie and I had a mock battle once. She beat me in no time. It's like as if you had a chance to begin with. It's like this guy's movements ignore all reason. There are idiosyncrasies in each one of his movements. They're not logical, and I can't predict what he'll do next. And you see Rakan still doing like his perverted, flexible poses. So it goes with each ring I take off, my body gets lighter. Ah, feels so light like it'd fly off somewhere just like this. And you see in the slums of Ceres, you look, Sho, it's Dad. He looks like he's having so much fun. You see, stop it, Mom. Dad is dead. Oh my God. You see demonstration of karate. You see a bullet being fired through a piece of glass, and you see a crack as someone's caught it between two of his fingers. And you see, my dad is the strongest karateka in the universe. No bullet can hit him. He can take on armed gangsters with his bare hands. And you see, it's a hoax. No, it's not. And you see these two kids going, go prove it with this, as they toss him a gun. And you see later that night in the dojo, he goes, Father, it's like, Sho, the dojo's too dangerous for you. He's like, I have a gift for you. He's like, oh, that's nice. Oh, the kid pulls out a gun and shoots. And you have, no bullet can hit my dad. And you see the gun goes, or the bullet goes and strikes him right inside of his head. And you see, and we see, we saved his life, but a bullet fragment destroyed a part of his frontal lobe. It may affect his behavior and personality. It's like a karateka known for dodging bullets got shot by his own son? That's some karma. He'll have to close his dojo now. Jeff Deere, stop! It's like, I gotta scrape it off and get lighter. I don't need skin on my face. And you see the frontal lobe. Give me a second. Let me zoom in. Frontal lobe, the area at the front of the cerebrum involved in social and sexual behavior and inhibition. A famous case of personality change due to frontal lobe injury is Phineas Gage, whose skull was impaled by an iron rod in a railroad construction accident in 1848. And you have a woohoo, I've been set free! Oh, it's so nasty. As you see Rakan stripped all his skin off, his giant dong just fully laid out. Go, there's nothing to tie me down. Oh. Shiro Sensei, I love you, man, but honestly, what the fuck is this? Like, this honestly feels like something Gintama would do. You see him just doing hip thrusts into the metal with his dongs. He's just punching a bunch of holes in it. Jeff, your husband is poking holes in walls all over the city. You must pay. I'm sorry. He's like, hi, you two. Daddy's going on a journey to train. In a nutshell, I want to fornicate with young girls and kill all I want. So go ahead and live on your own. Bye. Oh, the fuck, honestly. And you see back in the present, Rakan just diving through the various walls, making these various like Looney Tune poses. And you're like, is he a cookie cutter? It's like, at this rate, and you see a chick Azazi's like, my last magazine. And she pulls out a smoke bomb with a whoosh and starts spinning around, creates some cover as she just fires in like a circle around her. And Rakan's like, I see. Obscure visibility with a smoke screen and then a barrage. She sure thinks up one thing after another. The average karateka wouldn't have stood a chance, but I'm afraid it won't work on me. My son, my wife, are you watching me? Are you watching from somewhere in this universe? Look how light and graceful I am now. Son, I'm sorry I didn't live up to your expectations back then, but I've changed. Now I can dodge any bullet. Who knew a human being could become so abnormal? You see chapter 99, Benevolent Dope. You see 1 hour before the Zot finals. And you see just this crate of ammo and guns everywhere. As Sechs goes, this mountain of weapons and ammo. Did you bring it all from Mars? And Zazi's like, of course. Adequate supplies are vital in war. He's like, it's over the weight limit. He's like, ugh. So I didn't know Zot regulations were so strict. And Sechs is like, what a waste of shipping fees. And you see Alita and Sechs talking. Alita goes, the opponents we'll fight are formidable. This will probably be like nothing we've experienced before. This might be the last time we get to talk, so Excuse me. There's something I wanted to say. And Zach is like, you sound so pessimistic. And Alita goes, I hadn't told you yet. Actually, there's a brain biochip inside my head now. And Zex is just like taking the news and goes, well, I suspected ever since she took over Tunguska's body and regenerated. Like, since when? So before I met you in Tafaris. It's like, I'm sorry for thinking you were an inferior copy and a parody robot and useless and lip service and a kid's meal and a dummy and a half-wit and a lame brain. I apologize. And Zex is like, sure. Alita's, the worst thing was keeping it to myself. I should have just said that I thought you were a wiener. Zex is like, are you apologizing or picking a fight? Alita's like, I feel much better. And Zex was like, this inexplicable narcissism. There's no one else quite like her. But she has a brain biochip like me? Why are we so different? And he goes, Alita, do you remember our promise? And she's like, about the Taiyaki? He's like, no, you said you'd fight me once the Zod is over. She's like, oh, I forgot. So you sure are persistent. I'll think about it if we both survive this. And we pick up where we left off with Zex doing the implosion fist against Zeka. And you see a raw! And he's starting to spin because he wound up his fist. So he's starting to do the spin, unleashing as he's unloading all the energy. Jeff, you little brat! As Zeka tries to chop down on his arm. But because it's spinning so fast, he can't get through it. It's like, my solar plexus is being lifted up. I can't use my technique. And you see him get blown away and just blasted backwards from the force of this blow. And he gets slammed into the wall. Direct hit! And you see on the Between Mars and Earth gun troll with Captain Chu saying, Seiya and Niz going, why? It's like, again, Seka of all people. And Captain Chu saying, like, he mastered my Chan Si Jing at the 11th hour. Not bad, kid. And you see Chan Si Jing is an energy manipulation technique in Chinese martial arts to focus or parry energy by twisting or spinning. You have Niz going, he never gives up. Zex, he's truly tough. And you see Zex also plummeting out of the sky and going rolling. And he stands up and he's like, implosion payback counter expanded screw punch. It's like, too long. He's like, in short, implosion screw punch. It's like, see that? And you see Garamba going, an all or nothing play, and then an unexpected reversal. A 2-year-old has beaten a 100-year martial arts master. It's like, but then Yanni's like, the kid did it, but he scared the life out of me. He hit the solar plexus directly. The annihilation could have sent everyone to Buddha. And you see, Zex can't even remember complicated strategies like pretending to go for the solar plexus and hitting something else. It's like, I guess not. Without his revival Tunpo, this man has monopolized the title as strongest. Are we witness to the end of a legend? And you see, the butt of my pants split a little, you bastard. And you see Zex just grinning, going from brat to bastard. I've been promoted. How dare you? And you see Zeka just collapsing. As he goes, good for nothing legs. Move! Move, damn you! And Yanni goes, it's no use threatening your own legs. The neural emergency breakers have been activated. The self-repair function will come online. You'll be able to move in 180 seconds. He goes, kid, now's your chance. Unlock the bolt behind Zeka's neck. Then you'll be paralyzed. And we'll dispose of the solar plexus core safely. And Zeka's like, old man. He goes, Zeka, accept defeat. Your pride brought this upon you. I knew you wouldn't use your dragon-slaying bone crusher out of respect for your rival. But if you don't discharge the antimatter, the core will melt down in 6 months and you'll die. As an engineer, I cannot allow such a pointless death. I'll say it again. Such a death isn't romantic or anything. It's lower than a dog's. And you see a fash as this old man talks too much. Kid, what are you doing? Hurry! It's like, you sure Zek will recover in a while? And Zek just goes and sits cross-legged and goes, then I'll wait until he can move again. And it's like, what? It's like, don't be an idiot. What are you thinking? You won because you were lucky. If you miss this opportunity, if that's what you think, right? Because I'm lucky or because of my new body? Well, that pisses me off. After he beat me up and insulted me, I'm not satisfied with just one measly punch. It's like, then why don't you finish me off while I can't move? He goes, it's the 3rd round. I don't care whether you use dragon slaying bone crusher or not. I'll beat you up so bad you'll never be able to brag again. And then you'll cry, Master Sechs is the best. So stop lying around like a piece of shit and get up already. And Zekka's like, what a benevolent dope you are. You're starting to understand what it is to be a man. But there won't be a next round. It's over. And you see his solar plexus, you see a little crack on the side of Zex's body. You see this giant explosion with the blam as Zex gets sent flying sideways. He goes, huh? You have Zex's side burst open. That was where Zekka landed the first ignition blow. The surface vitrified from the high heat, then cooled and solidified into palmite. And you have Zekka going, sorry I got your hopes up, but my punches shouldn't be underestimated. Ooh. And you see one of Zex's eyes just starting to crack open and starting to leak out. So you have Battle Angel Alita Last Order 16. Okay, so yeah, here sure has a sense from there, 2011. That's not relevant. Alright. That volume just felt shorter than normal, but it was 196 pages, I suppose, just because I've been used to the omnibus volume stuff. So this is pretty much almost on exactly the time I wanted to hit for this video. Not really a super lot to say about this volume because it's mostly about the combat, which I did enjoy. Like, the combat was still good. I still liked the technique, like switching back and forth between the various battles. I'm not the Rakan stuff was just so tonally out of left field. Like, with the background, like tossing everything in. Like, I don't know what Kishiro Sensei was really aiming to do with that, because when we had the Venusian weird penis machine, I figured like this was him doing like a riff on a gag of like masculinity, but I don't really get what the point or the purpose of like doing this as backstory for Rakan or stuff was. Like, maybe there was a method to the madness, but it just felt so totally inconsistent. Kind of drove me out of the series a little bit when we were doing that. Kind of like disrupted the flow a little bit. I think that's my only one kind of criticism of it, is it just didn't feel like it fit in with the rest of the series or with the rest of the fights and everything else. But apart from that, it was super solid. I'm trying to think if there's anything else over that. Like, yeah, no, this was a pretty short chapter. I'm trying to think. I'm almost tempted. Maybe after a small break, maybe I'll dive straight into the next volume, because I don't know how much longer the fights are going to last. I'm hoping it's not going to last too much longer before we do the wrap-up stuff, because I know in one of the later volumes, like, we have figure fours on the cover, so I'm hoping we're going to get to see some of him and see some of the kind of like Fallout, see some of the old characters return once the battles are done. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. As always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I said, I'm going to try to get to the rest of the volumes sometime this week, so if I don't get around to A17 today, I expect probably 17 and 18 tomorrow, and then I'll try to finish off the other ones on Thursday. Kaiju number 8 will also be out on Thursday, so I'll do, because I'm home this time, I will do a reaction as soon as the chapter drops. And then expect Spy Family 1 this Sunday as well when that chapter drops. And until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.